Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your first gameplay for the Zrinyi I. This is a battle rating 4.0, rank 3 tank destroyer in the Italian Ground Forces tech tree. This is the first reward that you can get for the ground forces in the Summer Quest event for 2022. This is a Hungarian tank destroyer, of course. So when I say the Italian Ground Forces tech tree, it is, of course, but it is under the flag of Hungary. Now that said, this features a 75mm cannon that functions very similarly to the long 75mm cannon on a Panzer IV or a Stug 3, and it also features a decent amount of hull armor on the front, but of course not very angled, so you're not going to get a ton of performance out of that. So this might be pretty easily one shot by more or less anybody. But of course the biggest feature that we see here is going to be the 150mm rockets right here in the back, but upon initial testing, it appears as though you're only going to be able to fire these from about half a kilometer out. So they don't really go down enough where you're going to be able to fire them at close range, but rather, again, as kind of a War Thunder version of long-range artillery. So it's a pretty interesting vehicle, but this will likely function very similarly to how a Stug 3 functions, just in terms of overall performance, overall armor for the most part. It's pretty darn similar. Now, you can get its reload rate down to about 5.9 seconds, but of course, that's if you fully ace out that crew. Now, the 150mm rockets, or really 108mm rockets through HE, they have about 42mm of armor pen, so they should be pretty good at destroying lightly armored vehicles or fully immobilizing more heavily armored vehicles. You also have the 43mm shell here, or 75mm shell here, my apologies, with up to 145mm of armor pen. Decent, though not great muzzle velocity. You also have heat as well, but heat really I don't see the need for it unless you're going to be firing at very, very long ranges and at an angle. Otherwise, you do have regular HE ammunition and just your standard amount of modifications. So that being said, let's get into a few matches here, see what we could do, and see how good this vehicle really is. So a few things to note here before I actually get into a real fight with this thing. Its mobility is pretty decent. It doesn't have a great power to weight ratio. It is light enough where it will be kind of maneuverable, but it loses a ton of its speed going uphill, as one might expect. And yeah, I'm only going 6 kilometers per hour here. And of course, it doesn't really gain it back all too quickly. You can get up to around 20-ish kilometers per hour, and then beyond that, secondly, it doesn't really have great zoom. So this is its zoom. Initial zoom is okay. Appears to be around 5 to 6 times, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to check that after the match. But that's about it. Now, when it comes to its armor-piercing shell, the APCBC shell, it says that it has HE filler, but not much. It only has around 28.9 grams of HE filler, which, if I am not mistaken, is pretty low, even compared to, again, the German counterpart in the long 40 or the long 75mm cannon that, again, the Panzer IV and the Stug 3 has. So you are kind of getting a little bit of a lesser version of that in some ways. It does have a little bit more armor pen, but not much. Not much at all. Additionally, this does not make me feel good. Additionally, okay, there we go. Okay, of course he's right in front of that. The beauty of having a low-profile vehicle. Oh, there he is. There's no LMG on this, so bear that in mind as well. So I'm not able to, like, kind of look at somebody and say, oh, there's a vehicle. Is this going to hit him? I don't even know where I'm firing. Just got to fire open shot here. You know what? Let's see. And he's already taken out my breach. There you go, guys. Look at that. Absolutely no armor in the front. Let's just get back into this. I've got a thing here. So there's a few strong pieces of information to consider here. One, I am in a total up tier. This cost 90 spawn points when I initially got into the match to spawn in. You know, I'm going to try to fire some of these. I know I'm kind of at an angle here, but okay. I guess I'm going to take down trees. It appears as though these really don't have much use outside of maybe shock and awe. I'm not really entirely sure exactly what they're going to do. But this vehicle is very limited. I'll say that. You know, and the point of this gameplay, 100%, you know, more than other types of gameplay where it's like, you know, my regular gameplay style, where it's like, okay, I'm going to try to inform you how the vehicle is and show it how good it could be and all that. I'm just trying to show you this vehicle. You know, this is the first gameplay possibly of this vehicle on YouTube. And this is an event vehicle that some people really want to grind for. It's a limited time event vehicle, something that not everybody is going to have the opportunity to get. So I feel like it's important to say, hey, look, this is how good it is. This is how good it can be. And while I do think that it is, am I going to hit? Okay, I actually hit him. While I do think that it is okay, it's so low, man. I mean, holy cow. Woo! Oh, wow, that was a lucky hit. You cannot, like, this is a really low vehicle. Wow. Man, it does not back up quickly, I'll tell you that much. And there you go, another Jagdpanzer 38T. Right through the front this time. Correct? Right through the front. So this thing, again, features very little armor to protect you. So as of right now, I've got a 1-to-1 KD. So here's a good test of mobility. I'm in a partial up tier, and on a team with Germans, thank God, because Germans have been kicking my butt in this thing. And I want to see if I can cap or at least partially cap the 8 point. So as of, okay, hardly anyone's going for the 8 point. Normally I wouldn't do this. I'd like to always sweep out to the C point, but in this vehicle, again, I just want to kind of put it through its paces, see if it's going to cap anything. So this might be a decent test. Now, while I'm going to cap it, this is first and foremost, I feel like this is going to be a very, very good ambush tank. Something that you can park behind or underneath bushes because of how low it is. I mean, this has got to be one of the lowest vehicles in game. At least that's where the cannon sits. It's just incredible. So it seems as though it can actually cap a point, which is good, of course. And I got to it before the other team got to the B point. So I'm actually pretty impressed by that. But one of the biggest problems with this sitting so low is, of course, look at all that brush. And I have to get the brush and whatever out of my way whenever I'm firing my cannons. Of course, there is the option for that from what I've been told. But, you know, and before you say, oh, you know, tank is starting, how don't you even know that? Yeah, I don't really look at the options all too much, guys. You know, I just kind of get into a game, play a tank, play a plane, play a ship on occasion, and that's what I do. You know, I don't really mess around with things to give myself an advantage over other people. I just kind of play it as the game is intended. Not that it's a bad thing, you know, to get into the options and do one thing or another, but, of course, you know, to each their own, right? So, when it comes to kind of sitting below or sitting, yep. This is bad. This is bad. Oh, wow. I got the cannon breach. Although, of course, that's not really all too surprising. It almost kind of feels like the cannon on this is less than, it pens less than what they claim. Non-pen. And, of course, with the ridiculously large cannon on this thing, it is... Ah, that would have been a nice kill, too. I am not getting anything Like, this is just going to be an easy cannon to destroy. But as okay, please, my man, I have to hide. Please, please, please. But as I said, hiding with this thing is going to be really tough because those the rocket launchers on the back will just, one, give away your position, but also they run a big risk of blowing you up. So the ammunition starts about halfway back. You can't really see it there. But if you look from the front to the back, there's a large portion of the launcher that just has nothing in it, which is nice. That's bad. But a big problem with that still, again, is if they hit you in the back. Oh, sweet. You got a T-34. But if they hit you in the back, you're not really going to be able to survive, probably. I've not had one of those ammo blowy-uppy shots yet, but they are going to happen. Now, the armor pen, again, just does not seem to be all that fantastic with this. I mean, I'm blowing up T-34s, but these seem to be basic T-34s. But any Panzer IV with a long 45 should be able to do that, or 75 rather, should be able to do that pretty easily. Now, another thing is that this has a 5x zoom. I don't know if I mentioned that. Okay, I see an enemy there. Another T-34. So it seems as though this thing will wreck T-34s fairly easily. Now, it's not going to be a wise thing to help out this P-40. One, because he didn't help me. Okay. I'm going to help him in a different sort of way here. I don't think that repairing him would be a good idea because I'll get blown up by this guy here. Okay, got the engine. That's always nice. Gonna try to shoot above. Not gonna get the hit. So he's not able to really pen me here. Perfect. But yes, it's a 5x zoom. So overall, thus far, my experience in this thing, again, I'm having a better second match than I did the first, but it seems to do very well, as with most tanks, in a down tier, where its armor actually works a little bit, at least versus T-34s, the lesser T-34s. But that's about it. You know, it's not really a very impressive vehicle thus far. Its rockets seem pretty useless unless you're firing uphill, and it's just too short of a vehicle to get a good idea of how far people are from you in, you know, to be able to shoot it on a flat plane. And right there, the ARL-44 just took me out. But again, not too bad of a match here. 3 kills, 2 assists. I'll respawn into this one more time. Okay, so being that we know that the B point is what, give or take about 8.83 kilometers away, let's use this as some long-range artillery. I want to see if we can actually muster up some hits here. Probably not. Just gotta be firing this almost randomly throughout, and these are really slow. That last one might hit someone or might go way over everyone else. Yeah, of course. So, you really have... One, you have to make sure that you know where people are. And two, they have to be a certain distance away from you. So you're going to be looking at open maps, hilly maps potentially, like Mozdok, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a relatively open map. And you're really going to have to look out just to make sure that there's no obstructions between you and your enemy. That's probably how you're going to be able to use these most effectively, which is to say that you're probably never going to use them effectively. Hopefully no one notices me as I embarrass myself here. Got an M22. Got him! Ha ha ha! Yeah, that's right. Picking on people smaller than me. That's how we do it. Man, this would be a killer if I could actually see him. Oh, T-34. He's about to blow me into the freaking Stone Age here. Yeah, like I said, this does not have fantastic armor pen like one might want to think. So anyways, let's get into one final match. Have some fun here. I've got over a 1-to-1 KD at this point. What do I have? 6 kills with it versus 4 deaths. 1.5 KD, not fantastic for ground RB, but of course, it is what it is. So I wanted to test out exactly how this would look with a bunch of bushes on the front. And I do say, this thing looks pretty damn good. So it kind of reaffirms my position that this is an ambush predator. It's, you know, of course it still has the rockets kind of sticking out of the back, but when looking at it from certain angles and depending on how the bushes are on it, not bad at all. You know, I mean, with the exception of its cannon, and only because I only have 5 bush decorations rather than 6, the track there, it's more or less invisible from the front. I mean, this thing looks like a moving bunch of bushes, which is nice. So let's just get into one final match here. I really don't care how well I do in it. You know, of course, I'm going to try to do as well as I can, but a few things, a few final notes here. One, I could see it being down BR maybe to 3.7, just because if it's lack of armor, it has very, like, the cannons are almost unusable in my opinion. Or not the cannons, but the rockets, I don't really see the use in them. So these rockets almost seem to be for novelty's sake. I've not even landed anywhere near anyone thus far. It's not like the Matilda Hedgehog where those are actually usable because they can hit within a fairly close range. Rather, this is something else entirely, and unfortunately, not in a good way. Again, they're more or less just novelty items, and they're novelty items that can get you killed. You know, I'm going to go fire over there. Let's see. Now these, see, you have to be kind of at a flat angle in order to, yeah, I'm hitting, oh, wow. Got him. Not bad. But I actually got hit really close to him with the rocket, coincidentally. By chance. Oh, there's an M24 over here who died. Oh, I'm dead. There you go, another 1-to-1 KD. Okay, I'm going to try to use one of these nook and cranny locations. See if we can... Okay, despite the fact that there's numerous corpses of my team here, maybe I can trick the enemy into thinking that there's no one here. Because, of course, they were unarmored, and they don't know what they're doing, right? But this is probably about going to be the one of the more ambushy spots I can be in. Okay, there's an enemy there. See him? Got him. BT7, not too impressive of a kill. He knows I'm here. Oh, got the engine. He's going to be firing on me in a second. Went right through. And killed my, basically, the most important people on my, my crew. Come on, one more shot. No. And there you go. 1-1 KD. I did some damage, but I took some damage. Really, the main problem with this vehicle is that no matter where you get hit, you will be penetrated by other, by enemy forces. So it doesn't really have a great amount of armor. In fact, actually, I'd say it's very substandard. And being that it's angled the way it is, you're not really going to be able to angle yourself all too well either, especially for the fact that this is a TD. It's just, overall, I mean, I am not impressed by it. Its rockets seem pretty useless. It is what it is. But that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Of course, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You know, I think that this is probably a better vehicle than I'm giving it credit for, but ultimately, it just does not seem all too impressive. So that said, thank you all so much again for watching, and I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.